continue collecting, and remember, stay casual. Welcome back, Casual Collectors. I'm Still Wolf here with another action figure accessory review. And we got this set here from Super Action Stuff. And we'll go ahead and put the link for their website in the description, so make sure you check them out. But we got this set for about 15 bucks, and we picked it up from Amazon. Now, if you can't find it on Amazon, you can definitely get it from his website. And the cool thing about that is that if you don't like what it comes in this pre-packaged set, then you can always go on the website and actually pick and choose what you do want and what you don't, or maybe get doubles of certain things. This is kind of a little bit of everything packaged for a right price, if you ask me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So right away, this packaging is very simple. It's kind of a blister card here. We got some nice graphics on the background. Nothing too crazy, but it basically tells you what you're getting and what it looks like and what it is. As for the back, we have some very cool retro looking 80s style graphics here. So we have Super Action Stuff there on the top left, which is their logo and the name of their website. And we got these cool crosshairs with this name, so that says Firepower, which is what this particular set is called. Now, if you can look down here, we have a list of everything that comes with it. It also tells us here that it's for 7-inch and 1/12 scale figures. So 6 and 7-inch figures, this works really good with. And here we have just basically a silhouette of an action figure using one of the effects itself. Got some basic warning labels, and we have a UPC here. So very cool. I do like this retro 80s inspired graphic stuff. Very neat. Coming back to the front here, we can see that we have some pretty cool looking effects too. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and break this guy open and see what we got. And here's everything out of the package and all set up for you. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can use these with many different figure lines. But before we get into any of that, let's take a closer look at all these accessories. So let's go and start here at the top. And here we have what could be used as a blood effect or even a swinging effect. You know, like when you get that in anime or in comics when they punch or something and they swing in midair, and this is like an effect for that. So this will work out very well for that. You just basically would put the fist in here like that, and you would create that arc. So very cool looking accessory. It's made out of this translucent material, and it does have sculpt in there, so very, very neat. Very nice, and it's this nice solid material too. And this next one is pretty much the same thing, just sculpted a little bit different. This one's more round, as you can see. Kind of looks almost like a fireball almost, but yeah, same color of translucent material. Got the hole right here so you can peg in there, or you can stick in a fist in there and give it that effect like they're getting punched, like somebody's getting punched. So very cool. Very nice paint and also sculpt. Next we have these bullet effects, these muzzle flash effects here. And as you can see here in the bottom, there is no peg, but the reason why this is like this is so that you can use some sticky tack or some wax to basically stick it on a figure just like this, to give you the impression that they're getting shot at, or that they're blocking said, bullet projectile, with a shield or on the wall, on the ground or whatever. But that's why there's no peg in there, so you can stick it onto a surface or onto a figure. So pretty cool. And then the other one here is the same size as this one, and it's the same thing. There's no actual peg on it. This one looks like it has a peg hole, so maybe you can actually get something to fit in there. But either way, I mean, check out the sculpt on these things. Nice sculpt, nice translucent orange. And you do get 2 of them. And now next, we're going to use these 2 guys here. These are your next basically muzzle flashes, or bullet effects, or whatever you want to call it here. And again, very nice material, nice sculpt, nice translucent plastic there, looks good. And here are the bottoms. And these ones have bigger peg holes there that you can maybe this can port onto some weapons, some G.I. Joe weapons or something like that. But that's what it kind of looks like to me. And now the next 2 here are pretty much the exact same thing, as you can see. However, these guys have pegs. Now these are pretty big pegs, so I'm not sure exactly what figure line it would fit. But we'll pull out some weapons here in a second, and we'll try these out and see if they stick. Next up, we have these kind of blast effects here. So these can work in many different ways. These can work as like eye beams, like Icarus or Superman can be shooting these out of his eyes. So it could be either this direction, or you can have the face on this direction. Either way works. Now the cool thing is that these are actually on ball pegs. It's like a little ball peg in a socket, so they do have some articulation, and they can be moved around a bit here. So very neat. You can see the ball and socket there, so pretty cool. And it is a nice yellow translucent color too, so very cool. And now this end here is completely flat. But again, this is so that you can mimic as if something got blasted, where it's a figure, you can stick it on the figure with sticky tack or some wax, stick it on them, and boom, looks like it just got blasted. So either way, this works out very well, so very nice. And now this other one is basically the same thing, including that ball and socket thing they had got going on for it, just a different size, as you can see here. So nice, smaller size. And as I mentioned earlier, this is kind of like a grab bag, so it kind of gives you a little bit of everything, but you can always go on the website and order another set for this guy to give you the two, if that's what you want to do. But they give you two different sizes, so very neat. Next up, we have here this lightning effect. So this looks pretty damn crazy right here. Very nice. Look at all that intricate sculpt, so very cool. So this can be used in many different ways. If my palm here is the figure, you can kind of just stick it on the figure like this, kind of make it look like you just got zapped or there's some sparks coming out of him or something like that. Or you can even peg in part of the hand. You remove a hand of a figure and you peg it in through here, and it almost looks like they're charging up. So very, very cool. Very neat. Nice translucent color too. That yellow looks good. And next we have a blood effect here, kind of like a splatter or something. It's there's no peg or peg hole on the bottom, but again, sticky tack or wax, set it on a figure, and boom, you got a blood effect. So pretty damn neat. Next up, we have this kind of ball thing. So this kind of looks like a couple different things here. Almost looks like a smoke grenade was just thrown, and this is kind of like the explosion kind of thing like that. So that's kind of the way that I would look at it. It's something like that. Maybe they got hit with something, but yeah. As you can see on the bottom, there's no holes, but again, you use that sticky tack or you use the wax, and there you have it. But pretty nice, interesting looking accessory there. And next up, we have these bullet effects. So these look really cool. You can see this nice shade or this nice color of bronze right there for the bullet itself. And then you can see the smoke effect, and it comes into the fire effect. So that's really cool. And you can see that there is a hole. So you can actually probably peg this into a couple of weapons there. Maybe some G.I. Joe, some Marvel Legend weapons. Very cool. And then we also get another one that's just a bit thinner and a bit smaller, or I should say shorter. But same thing, we got the bullet colored in that nice bronze, same effect, and it also has that same peg hole. So very, very cool. And last but not least, we have this guy here that in the package, it actually came pegged in just like this. So it kind of looks like this rocket is actually firing, but it's actually two pieces. So we can remove this. And here you have this kind of rocket weapon here, a little accessory, looks pretty cool. Nice paint job on the top here, this nice metallic silver, got this nice red, got these holes back here. And it kind of sort of reminds me of something that Boba Fett would carry on his jetpack, one of those missiles there. And here's the back effect part, so this looks really cool. Nice big old hole there, very neat. This might actually be compatible with other weapons, like maybe bazookas, rockets or something that might work with. So yeah, very, very cool. I like that it's two pieces and it does come apart. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and try these out on some figures just to kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So at first we have the Marvel Legends MCU Icarus along with the McFarlane Toys All Might. And as you can see, we basically set him up so that it looks like he's firing his eye beams there. It might be a little bit off, but you get the idea. This is kind of some of the things you can do with these effects, and I think it looks great and it works out great. So very neat. And I do believe that it's almost about the same color as what he has there on his face, so it matches pretty damn well. And what basically is holding this up is some sticky tack there. So yeah, there you go. It works very well, as you can see, and it looks good in my opinion. But let's turn All Might around here. And you can see I got both of those beams, so it definitely looks like he's taking a shot on the chest, and that looks great, I think, if you ask me. But like I said, you can easily just bring in somebody else to kind of make it look like they're firing a beam or shooting a weapon at him. And here we have this G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Bat. And yeah, I think that would work just fine. Looks like he's blasting them or something. But all right, next up here we have two G.I. Joe Classifieds, and we have basically that bullet effect along with that lightning effect. And again, I have both of these effects basically just sticking with the sticky tack. So you can barely even see it, as you can see, unless you pay super close attention. But I think that works very cool. This is more like a 2D effect, but with the right angles, this thing looks awesome, and that looks pretty freaking cool too. All right, for another example, here we have the Jada Toys Ryu, using this kind of like wind effect or like, swing effect, which actually looks pretty good. Now, he can't really get his whole fist in there, and it's not being held in by any kind of sticky tack or anything. He just kind of put his fist in there, but if he had smaller fists, it'd be no issue, but they are a little big, so this is about as best we can do it. But that looks pretty good in my opinion. I mean, let's bring this guy out here, and it kind of looks like he just swung at him, so I think that works out very well. Like he's doing his uppercut, even though the color, with that color, I think it'd look better on 10, but we don't have 10, so what I'm gonna do, you know, you can even put their feet in there, kind of make it like a kicky or something, or like he's giving this guy a big old uppercut, you know, boom, right in the stomach. But I think that works out pretty well. So yeah, just going to give you guys an idea of what this can be used for. So very cool. Here's that same effect on a 7-inch figure here. This is the McFarlane Toys All Might. Definitely looks like he just swung at somebody right here and missed, or possibly just powered up and hit somebody there, but that looks really cool. And the only thing is though that because All Might's fists are pretty huge, they don't exactly fit in here very well. So you just kind of jimmy it in there and it'll work out. You know, whether you put it on this side here, I think either way it's gonna look very cool. I mean, look at that. Definitely looks like he's charging up on attack, so very freaking cool if you ask me. And here's that same effect there on a Marvel Legend. You can see Icarus here, and again, his fist is perfect. I mean, look at that, goes all the way in there. And because it's translucent, you can even see the fist, so it's just pretty cool. But like I said, it gives you that punch-and look, you know, it definitely looks very cool. Like he just sucked the crap out of this guy. And here's that other punch effect there on Icarus as well. And again, this looks pretty cool. Like it just uppercutted this guy, so very, very neat. And the difference between this one, as you can see, is that you can actually see the fist in there. So definitely a different effect, and it's still pretty freaking cool. And here we have those blast effects or those gunshot effects here on Icarus, and yeah, this looks pretty sweet. Definitely looks like he's taking 2 to the chest there. And again, they're just held by that sticky tack, so pretty neat. So let's go ahead and try some of these effects on these weapons and see how they look and if they hold. So let's go ahead and start with the top here with this weapon here. And again, this one comes with a lot of different Marvel Legend figures. We've seen this very many times before. It's basically a little gummy plastic here, and there is no peg hole there. So I know things like, for example, this one here, nope, not that one. This one right here that has the peg is not going to be able to work with this one. So this one will not work, and you get 2 of those. But you also get 2 more that don't have that peg. So let's grab one of those, and as you can see, there is a hole, but I think that the hole is just too big for it to stay put. So you would definitely need to add some sticky tack. So let's see if we have some here on the side. All right, and basically this is what it looks like. We put some sticky tack there on the end, and we placed it on there, and that works pretty well. I mean, look at that. I think it looks really good. Nice big effect there. I think that looks really awesome. And you can also even use it for the bottom of the barrel there too if you wanted to. You just got to put the sticky tack there, and then that'll look pretty good for the grenade launcher. So yeah, either way it works. So very neat for the big ones there. As for the little ones, these little ones will work as well. They do have holes, but those holes, again, they're too big for that little barrel there. So we just put the sticky tack on that one, and that's what this one looks like. So I think they both look very good on it. And now for these bullet ones here, this one, same thing. It does have a peg hole, but it's too big for this little tiny barrel there. So we'll just put the sticky tack, and that's what this one looks like. I think that looks very good. And that would be the same thing for this other one. But this is the shorter version. As you can see, there's that hole. See, it's just too big. It won't stay there. And then if only this thing was just a bit smaller, it'd be a cool grenade launcher effect. But this thing is huge, so that won't work for that. But that's what it looks like with this very typical gun that we get with Marvel Legends. Now this M4 here that we get from that Hela and Extinction 2-pack, this one as well does not have a peg hole, so it would be the same things for these little ones. You just put the sticky tack on there and just kind of push it in a little bit, it can stick, and that's what it would look like. I know it's a little off, it's kind of facing down to the side, that's because it's kind of gummy plastic, so, but I think it looks really good once you straighten it out. And it looks hella good, so no pun intended there for the 2-pack, but yeah, I think that looks really good. And you can even do the bigger one if you wanted to, and that's what that one looks like. I don't know, I'm kind of indecisive of which one looks better, which is the bigger one or the smaller one, but I think they both look good. And we'll try this one as well, just once you straighten this guy out. I think they look really cool. So it definitely works, and it looks cool. And for another one here, we have the submachine gun that came with the Punisher and the Punisher vehicle pack, which is the one that comes with that black motorcycle. So this one here does not have a peg hole in the barrel there, but it would be the same thing as we've done with the other 2 previous weapons. just some sticky tack and just kind of push it in a little bit, and that's kind of complete the effect there. So I think that looks very cool. So far, none of these have looked terrible, in my opinion. Look at that. Yeah, that's awesome. And then we'll try this one as well. Yeah, very cool. And one more I wanted to show was this handgun. So these ones here with the bullets have that bigger, kind of longer hole, as you can see there, but this one fits really well into the actual gun itself. As you can see, it's kind of slanted, so it's cool. I'm gonna turn it around. This one fits really well, and as you can see, we're basically pushing it in, and the gun barrel completely fits inside there. And this one, I think, turns out very nice. Look at that. I think that's awesome. That works out very well. So very cool. Then we have the Star-Lord weapon here, and that one, no, it's not going to fit in there, but we tried. But anyway, for this little one here, we can use these smaller little effects there, and we can pop that sucker on there with sticky tack, and I think that looks really cool. Look at that. Yeah, handgun definitely looks awesome. I don't think it'll look good with the bigger effects. We won't even try it, but you can if you wish. But yeah, there you go. So I think that's very cool. As for the Star-Lord gun, we can try this one here. You just got to put some sticky tack on one of these effects. There you go. As if it would fire bullets, but it doesn't. So, but you could still put it on if you wanted to. Let's try one of these guys here. Try that smaller blast there. I think that still looks pretty cool. So for the bigger one, see how that one would look. So let's see. Yeah, I think it looks good. Whether it's the bigger blast or the smaller blast, I think they look good. Yeah, there you go. Those are the Marvel Legend ones, and I think that these accessories work very well for it. Again, it just the whole catch is you got to use the sticky tack or some wax to hold those in place. So far, the pegs on those have been way too fat to fit in anything, even though these did not have peg holes. But what I wanted to show you with this Captain America shield is it's pretty cool because you can actually use these effects to almost look like the shield is actually blocking gunfire. You know, you just kind of set them up in different spots, and I think it actually makes it look very neat. You know, you can do something like that. As you can see, I think that looks very cool. And you can get the bigger one and just kind of put it up here or something. I think that looks really cool. Or you can even make it so you can put it on the ground to look like they're misfiring, you know, or they're firing on the ground and not reaching their target. But I think that looks very cool and it works out very well. But again, the catch is that sticky tag. All right, and then let's just try real quick some of these weapons over here. So for this 7-inch McFarlane Toys Fortnite series weapon here, this Gatling gun, I think the best one would be the bigger ones. And they would just kind of sit right here in the middle. So you would just probably want to put the sticky tack on these little parts here, and that'll just sit right there. To kind of give you an idea, that's kind of what it would look like. And I do think that that works out very well. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, that looks hecka cool. I do think that the effect needs to be bigger, but I think it works. I think that works very well. So they would hold it from here. Just like that, shooting down. Yeah, that looks really cool. So that works. So definitely works for your 7-inch figure weapons as well, as you can see. So very neat. And now for some of these other Fortnite figure weapons, and I believe these are kind of similar to the Hasbro Victory Royale and Jazzwares. I know this one for a fact is from Jazzwares, the Fortnite series ones. I think these are the Hasbro ones, but regardless, they're all Fortnite weapons. So let's just try these guys out and see what it looks like. So for the shotgun, they don't have peg holes in them, so we would have to use that sticky tack again. So let's grab some of it and place it on there and see what it looks like. So there you go. That would be for this charge shotgun here. I think that works out pretty well. Looks pretty good. Let's try it for this AR right here, and yeah, I think that looks very cool. And there you go, here it is with the pump shotgun. I think that looks really good too. So yeah, whether you go with the bigger effect or the smaller effect, I think that kind of just depends on you or the gun itself, you know, like the type of weapon that you're trying to show that it's firing. I think it'll work either way. I mean, there you go, that's with the smaller one. And I think it works out very well either way. And the effects do what they're supposed to do to make it look like it's actually firing. So yeah, very cool. And just let's try one of these here for this AR one. Let's try this one. I think that looks good too, man. Look at that. Yeah, so I mean, you can't go wrong with whatever weapons you use, whether handguns, machine guns, shotguns. I think regardless, these are going to look good. Whether they're shooting, you can even put these guys on walls or something like that on the floor, and it's going to look really cool. So very neat. So as for this rocket and flame effect up here, I don't know. I guess this rocket would kind of work for like bigger weapons like that bazooka comes with from the G.I. Joe Classified. I think that works really well with this. Or if you have a vehicle, I think it'll work really cool with it. Oh, you know what? Even that Hasbro Fortnite Victory Royale series, that big old boat they did, I think that one would work good with this. I mean, I know it comes with the missile, but you can even use this if you wanted to with it. Or you can maybe even use this thing like if, it's firing. Put this guy on a stand or something and put it right by the boat like it just fired. I think that will work pretty good. But that's what this guy basically is. It pegs in there, and this just looks really cool if you ask me. You can even make it look like it's one of the Mandalorian rockets or a Mandalorian's rocket from the jetpack, so I think it works out very well. But some of the other things that you can do with just this effect here is if you have a Human Torch, this can be an effect for him. It could be an effect for Ghost Rider, or you can even use it as an exhaust effect for a vehicle. So here is that Punisher bike that comes with him, and we can put it on the back of these exhaust tips here. Just kind of port it in there, and boom, look at that. I think that looks really cool. Check that out. And that works out very well. It kind of reminds me of the Ghost Rider bike with all those flame effects, but that's just one thing you can do. Now, another thing you can do too is you can get your Ghost Rider and just kind of port that in there with some sticky tack, and boom, look at that. I think that works out very well. You can do it like he's burning somebody or something, so have a figure there, and he's just basically charring the guy, boom. I think that looks really cool, And to get it to stay in there, you probably just put some sticky tack on the end of this and just kind of put it in there, and it should hold for the most part. But I think that's just another way you can use these if you're kind of wondering what you can use it for. And since we got Fish Stick out right here, we can actually show you what this kind of blood effect thing does here. So this kind of can be like if you just got shot or something and you wanted to make it even more dramatic or drastic or whatever. Just kind of put some sticky tack on the blood effect or on the figure himself, and just kind of put it in a spot where you want it to be at, and look at that. I think that works out very well. You can get very creative with these, but that's really cool. And then the last one here is this kind of, to me, this looks like a smoke effect. I don't know, maybe it could be something else, but like if somebody just threw a grenade or a smoke grenade and it just lands there, and that's the effect, or you can even put it on somebody. So that's kind of what this guy is. And yeah, you can stick it to figures, you just need that sticky tack stuff. So yeah, that's basically everything that comes with the Super Action Stuff Firepower Pack. I mean, in my opinion, what would I rate this? Definitely legendary. I mean, you just can't get enough accessories, especially when it comes to effects. At least for Marvel Legends, they don't put out a lot of effects, and at least G.I. Joe Classified is now starting to put out more, actual gunfire effects, and those are pretty cool, but, not enough lines are putting enough effects out. So this guy dedicates himself to basically making effects for your figures, whether they're 6-inch or 7-inch figures. So yeah, it's pretty neat that these things work with your 6-inch and 7-inch. The other thing too is that you got to remember though, some of these things will not work unless you have something that's going to stick to your figure or to your weapon. So something along the lines as sticky tack, which is something that a lot of the action figure community uses, and it's pretty cheap. So you can use that, or you can use wax, So I know that on his website, he does sell these little cubes of wax that he, I don't know if he endorses it or recommends it better, but that's what he uses for his photography, I believe, when he does it. Don't quote me on that 100%. That's just what I'm assuming since he does sell that on his website. But, those are just options in case you're not sure what to use, but you can use that. And sometimes you won't even need it because some of these accessories can't port onto your figures or figure accessories without the aid of those adhesives. So give or take, pro or con, that's up to you. But the price point, man, you cannot go wrong with that price point, especially when you look at things like, Tamashii Nation effects. They're hella cool, but they're also hella expensive, So very neat that we get this nice variety, kind of a grab bag of some of the things that he makes. And again, if you don't like, for example, that you don't like this lightning effect or you have no use for it, or these things here, then, instead of ordering this kind of grab bag, then just go on the website, Super Action Stuff, and actually pick and choose the things that you want. So maybe you just want like 6 or 7 of these, effects, go for it. Or maybe you just want a ton of these bullet ones and go for it, but you can definitely pick and choose. So very neat. And that's going to do it for the review on the Super Action Stuff Firepower Pack. I am Steel Wolf, and as always, continue collecting, and remember, stay casual.